I want you to walk out of here with one thing you're going to do as a result of today. Just one thing. Something that you're going to take on board and you're going to say, I'm going to work with that and I'm going to raise my ability to be a leader.
Leaders, whether you're talking about leading your business or being a leader in your industry or whether you're talking about being a leader of your organization, you set the tone.
Now, I'm predicting that in the next 15 to 20 years we're going to have a problem because the generation coming through now are saying, I don't want to be a manager.
If you don't have a conviction and a belief in what you're doing, then why should the people who follow you? Yeah, it's not abdication, it's delegation. The good leaders find out not where you're weak, they find out where you're strong and then capitalize on it. Yes, you manage things, lead people.
So, that's what's happening in the world. Let's look at leadership through the ages and then let's look at the impact of where businesses are going in the future. I'm going to stand here and tell you something unequivocally that I can say to you with my hand on my heart. In this day and age, every organization that is performing outstandingly that I am doing any research with has the most rigorous recruitment program. And they will not compromise it.
So what we're talking about here is a belief system. We believe in what we're trying to achieve as an organization, as a shop, as a corporation, whatever it is. Where is the conviction? Think back in yourself of people who have impressed you in life, people who have amazed you, and you will find that those are people that have a conviction. Think of the greatest leaders I've ever met around the world have been phenomenal in terms of their learning capability. They are constantly got an inquisitive mind.
How quickly are you prepared to relearn what you think you already know? So it's about systems and policies and structure. It's very much about adherence when we're a manager. Leadership isn't. Leadership is a lot about asking questions. Leadership is, I believe, something that we all have. What we discover is to what level we can take our ability to lead. The greatest leaders I've spoken to, the dozens and hundreds of leaders that I've spoken to, not one of them has said that delegating and empowering was easy. It's when you're running back there to be functional because there's an issue and then you stay there because it's nice and warm and comfortable. I'm going to ask you a question. And the question is this, ladies and gentlemen. Are you the leader you always wanted to work for?
And so this is one of my definitions of leadership. Leadership is the art of working your way out of your job.
So, what I want to do is explain the difference between management and leadership and then give you a little exercise to do for yourself, which I think you will find interesting and useful probably. I want to explore the difference with you, but most of all I want to explain to you the dichotomy that there is between the two. Okay, because if you think about it, they're opposites in a lot of ways. All right? Management is very much about systems and processes and structures and conforming and adhering and making things right. Would you agree? Leadership is about challenging. Can you imagine how confusing it is to work for you if you're a manager? Because today I walk in as your manager and I go, you didn't fill the forms in right, you didn't follow the procedure. I expect you to follow the procedures around here. Don't ever do that again. And you go, yes, 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 yes. Your poor employee sits there listening to you because I didn't actually follow the procedure. But tomorrow I walk in and I'm now wearing my leadership hat. Yesterday was my management hat. Now I'm walking around in a leadership hat and I'm wanting ideas. So I'm walking in and said, well, if we didn't do that, how would we do it differently? And your people sit there going, huh? Yesterday you said I had to follow the procedures. Now you're saying to me, what if? Do you see what I mean? It can be very confusing to understand when you've got your one hat on compared to the other, because they're two very separate hats, and you can't wear two hats at the same time. Management is about policies, it's about systems, it's about structures, it's about adhering, it's about conforming. So, if this is a retail shop here, As a manager, I'm standing here looking at my shop going, right, are the shelves full? Is everything laid out the way it should be? We've got a policy about cables, so we better move this. We have a procedure for opening up the tills. Is that being adhered to? Let's get to the timetable. Have I got enough cover for the peak periods of the day? Okay. Have I got deliveries coming in at a time which is most suitable for deliveries to come in? So I'm constantly looking about the processes and the systems and the structures, and I'm looking to conform. I'm looking to make sure that everything runs according to the system. That's what I do as a manager. Does that make sense? Okay? And that's, please don't get me wrong. That part of the job is important. So nothing I'm undermining that part of the job. We just need to understand it for what it is. Okay? But then we need to understand the different hat. The other hat is leadership. Leadership is about challenging. Leadership is about questioning. Leadership is about strategy. Where are we going? What will the world look like in the future? What if we did this differently? How would we do it differently? I want you to reflect for a minute on your job. The question I want to ask you is this. Please pay attention to, you've got to get the question right. What does your job require of you? Not how are you spending your time. The question is, what does your business require of you? And in percentage terms, spread out how much time you should be spending either being functional or in the management column or in the leadership column. And put a percentage figure in there. This is how should you be spending your time. Let me give you an example of what I mean. I did some work with some doctors. Why did doctors become doctors? Because they like to treat people. So the doctors tell me that they spend 85% of their time in front of a patient. They hire a practice manager to run their business. What's leadership to a doctor? Leadership is, what do I need to learn? Avian flu's heading our way. Ooh, what does that mean? How will I recognize it? How would I treat it? Is our community susceptible to it? Where's our practice going? Is our community growing? Will we need more doctors in the practice? So that's what a doctor is doing in terms of leadership. So, here's the rest of your question. Now draw a line and be honest with yourself. How are you spending your time at the moment?